welcome back to my channel. As you can see, I did quite a bit on my filament extruder. A lot has changed. This is the new control panel, so the wiring is hidden underneath. Now it looks a little bit more organized. Over here I mounted a new motor. Everything runs now and no bigger problems. The heating bands, the nozzle is also here. And over here I made this just yesterday, the spool winder. So there are these wheels. I put bearings inside, and over here they are mounted to this stepper motor and to the Arduino with the CNC shield, so I can control it using this potentiometer, and I can turn it on and off separately from the rest over here. So everything is connected separately. I can turn on one heater band, the other one. Here's the motor. This button is to stop the motor, but not entirely. Just cutting the power between this box and the motor. And over here is the potentiometer for the motor, so I can change the speed. And in case you're wondering what's this is just marmalade glass, and because I made the hopper just a centimeter too small or too short, once this is running the auger pushes itself out and just enough to let some of the granulate come out, and I use this to catch it, and then I can put it on top again. Yeah, over here is the spool. It's just an empty spool from Filament, and I can place it on here like this. And because I put these rubber bands onto here, there's a lot, quite some grip. And this belt here is to put a little bit of weight onto the spool so it doesn't vibrate too much, and it runs smoothly in the right direction. So I can turn it on over here and then over here. As you can see, it runs pretty good, very smooth. And over here I also used bearings on the outside, also on the inside of these wheels. Yeah, it's very stable. And these holes can be used to mount it onto a board, but for now this will do. Okay, and over here I also have this cooler, the fan from an old computer, and over here is the switch for that, so I can pull here and then the fan runs and there's cool air coming out of it, so it cools the filament over here. But I don't know if I need it yet, because it also worked without, but maybe it helps to keep a consistent diameter of the filament. Yes, over here, so this turns on the heater band. You can see this one is set to 160 degrees. It's this one up front with its temperature sensor. So it also works if there's just this heater band, but I also have the second one. This is heated to 140 degrees, so it doesn't melt over here, but it already gets a little warmer, so it comes out at this end smoother and also faster. So those two are running. And over here this switch for the motor, as I said, but I can't turn it on yet. It can be turned on when this has reached its temperature, because if I would turn it on now, this whole thing would break, as there's too much pressure inside of here with the not more melted filament that blocks the auger. I did it quite some times with the with these adapters, 3D printed ones. That's not so good, as you can see over here. I can show you. This one did break off. This one didn't, but this one was an older design. Here you can see this one totally broke apart. Yeah, quite difficult to solve that because I didn't know what it was, but now I do. Yeah, I will wait until it comes to temperature and then I'll take you on the process here. Also, it's quite some testing needed to get the right ratio between this motor and this motor over here. They aren't connected together or anything, so it's really kind of getting a feeling for the speed, so it doesn't come out too thin and not too thick. And also it's important to have the right distance between the nozzle and the spool winder, as otherwise the filament can melt and stick to this one, or it can be too cold and not windable anymore because it's too stable. Yes, as you can see, it's running for about 6 minutes already. It will take some time. I will come back to you once it has reached its temperature. So it's about 10 minutes later. In total it took about 15 minutes to heat up. As you can see, the second heater is too close to the first one, so the temperature is not working. But I think I will use this to reach this temperature faster, and then now when it's hot I can turn this one off. So it's just the first one heating, and I can turn on the motor. So I have about 30% of the 12 volts going to the motor. So you can see it turns. And over here the plastic comes out. So in the beginning it still has some things inside from burnt plastic, but after some time it will disappear. And now I will take the pliers, because it's still very hot here, and I have to take it and put it into this hole right here, so that the filament can roll onto the spool. Just takes a second. So then, oops, yeah, if you pull it too fast it breaks, so I have to do it slowly. Just take some time. So, just a second. Now I have to look over here to find the hole. put it inside. Now I can pull it out. So, and then I turn off the spool, the winder, and it starts winding up. And over here I need to be careful that the speed doesn't go too fast and not too slow. Have a look. Maybe a little slower on the winder part here. I still haven't got the diameter sensor. I will put it somewhere around here. And maybe I can control it a little more precisely. I can also try to turn on here my fan, see if it works the way it's supposed to. It's a little hard to focus on the filament. So maybe I can do it even slower. Seems to be a bit too thin. So I go over here, take the potentiometer, turn it down a bit to about 25. Let's have a look. It's looking better. Probably still too fast. Maybe a little bit slower. About 20. So it's really not very fast right now. But I try to get the right ratio between turning off that motor and the other motor. Now it's getting really thin. Interesting. So I have to do this a little faster, otherwise it's not coming out fast enough. This one is pulling too fast. Maybe I have to turn up the speed. So it's getting thicker again. Maybe I need to do this one a little faster then. Have a look. That seems about right. Over here still pretty thin. But we're getting there. Just a second. A little faster. So as you can see, there's no granulate in the hopper, but I'll put some in a second. Now it's getting better, a little thicker. I also need the device to get the filament constantly pulled back and forth so it winds onto the spool pretty regularly. Maybe a little faster. That should make it about right. So let me take this with the side. So now I can take this one here and this glass. Just a second. It's a little hard with one hand. Put it down. So now I can take this and put some inside of here. And as you can see, the auger gets pushed out a bit, and this gap is enough to let the granulate fall down there, as you can see. And Now it's putting this here over here, and it's coming out right here. So it seems that the cooling is not very accurate. I think the height is not correct, as you can see. I will adjust it a bit, see if I can make it go a little higher. How about this? Now it's the right height, but it's not really reaching the filament. I think I will need to change that a bit. I have to find something having the right height. Maybe this. Just a second. Now it's a bit too high, but as you can see, the filament thickness is much better. I need to adjust this a little bit. Now it should be about right. A little bit lower or higher, I don't know. So now it's coming here. Yes, this should work. So it can be that you don't hear me as well. I'm also wearing a face mask just for safety purposes, and the fan is also quite loud. The extruder itself isn't that loud actually, so you hear a little humming of the motor, but there's no cracking or squeaking or anything. The only squeaking is over here on the filament winder, but that's not very loud and not bad. So overall I'm pretty happy so far. It runs pretty constantly. You can see the temperature goes down a bit, but as long as it doesn't drop under 150 degrees, it should be fine. You can see the filament is getting a bit too thick now, so I adjust the speed of the winder to get a better thickness. It's really testing and trial and error. Also, it's sometimes is a bit too molten when I wind it up and then it sticks together, but right now it seems to be pretty good. It's not sticking, it's loosely wound up. Yes, I can move this a little bit so it gets winded onto here too. I can see the thickness. Yes, this is pretty accurate. So right now I do it from the view if it looks like normal filament, but soon I will upgrade it to be a bit more exact. I can take a spool right now. Wait a sec. So over here you can see the thickness of normal filament. So it's about this thickness, and this is my thickness right now, so it's pretty accurate. Maybe it's a little too thick, but that's adjustable using this speed controller over here. I'll speed it up a little more, just like so. Yeah, you can see that it's over here, it's still kind of liquid, and that could be a problem. But this fan, I think I will install it either over here or nearer to the filament, otherwise it's not gonna do much. It's pretty far away and not that strong. Yeah, I think that's pretty much the update. Let me know if you want to see more. I'll definitely show it, the further process. So I made this for a school project, I already told it in the part 1. And the documenting will be, I will have to give it to my teacher in November, so I have a little bit of time left. And in February there's a contest where we are taking part. I don't think this will get any prizes because they are very about the future and good things for the environment, and this is recycling, so it's pretty good, but there's nothing very new about it, just my own twist. But I would like to present it to them, see what they think. Yeah, maybe I will add a shredder or something so I can recycle my misprints, but that's still a little bit further in the future. Right now I'm pretty happy with how it runs. Yes, I will also make a new video about printing with this filament, because it would be interesting to see how this does. Yes, I think that's about it. Thanks for watching.